We continue today with our laws of Shabbos class. Today is class number 58. We start with Sefer Chofetz Chaim. The big topic is the same for Toeles for the subject benefit. And today's topic, so we continue this the series of teacher-student relationships. Right? Finally, a teacher must be careful not to cause his student undue harm. Halacha permits a teacher to strike a child for educational purposes. And embarrassment may also be justified. Okay. It is if it is for the student's benefit. So if a teacher wants to embarrass a little student to encourage him to learn, so that's permissible. And I think we'll learn halacha in my other class. So if this teacher struck a child and the child died, so basically there is no punishment to the teacher because he was doing mitzvah educating the student. But of course, don't try it at home. Today we don't do that. The Talmud states that the striking one's older child is prohibited, as it may entice him to hit back. So when he's a little baby, you can touch him little, but when he's a big, so don't do it because he can punch you back, basically, right? However, and you put like a stumbling block in front of the blind. It's your fault. However, in today's era of the brazenness, corporal punishment, even in early childhood, often teaches violence rather than discipline. So it's not working. It must be carefully evaluated. Verbal abuse by a teacher can have a decidedly negative effect on his students and maybe undermine all efforts at educating the student regards Shmiras Halashon. So when this teacher has a big mouth, basically, not good also, right? So of course he's trying to put down the student, and maybe some things that he says it's true, right? But it's Lashon Hara. He has no right to reveal it in front of the whole class, right? Or even to the student to shame, unless it's for constructive purpose, because constructive purpose meaning that he wants to help the student. In any situation when embarrassment or physical punishment might result from the teachers relating to a student's problem to others, he may do so only if the consequences are necessary for the student's growth and development. As mentioned above, the day 26, teacher must also bear in mind the long-term effect of relating or recorded negative information about the students. Okay. All right, no problem. We stop here.
Right.
Yes.
Before we start, can I ask you one question? And that is, if someone does flings over the Rabbanan, he decides, this the Rabbanan, I'd rather not do it, right? So does that count as he's an apostate towards one mitzvah, and that he's also not honoring the rabbis?
Exactly.
Yes.
So okay. So who told us to listen to rabbis? HaShem did. So it's a biblical mitzvah to listen to the rabbis.
Mm-hmm.
Not good. And somebody who is constantly do this, so we cannot count him for part of the minyan. It's clearly says in I think in Hilchas TeShuva, because he disregard completely. So he said it's not part of the Torah. You know who said? I said it. I decided. So even small things can ruin a person. Absolutely. Okay, but today we started a new melacha. As I sent this text, it's trapping. Tzeiro, right? Tzeido, trapping. The Av Melacha, Tzeido, trapping, is one of the 39 Avos Melachas, all of which have their origin in activities performed during the construction of the Mishnah. At that time, they trapped the multicolored animal known as Tachash, right, whose hide then be used to make leather for the covering of the Mishkan. They also trapped the sea creature called Hilazon, whose fluids were needed to produce the blue-green techeles. Techeles dye used to color covering of the Mishkan. So trapping trapping was for these animals, right? Tachash, wherever it needs to trap it. I'm not sure. I think that they would come over, but still, I mean, it's wild animals. It's not domesticated animals. They were afraid of the people, so they require some trapping and plus hilazon, right? From which we get this blue string tzitzis. Okay, so it's Av Milacha. Number 2 definition. In the context of the Shabbos prohibition, trapping is defined as a capturing a living creature by confining it in such a way that it is easily brought into one's possession and control. So basically, when you confine this creature, whatever it is, it could be a fly. So you took you take this disposable cup, whatever cup, and you cover the fly. So it's trapping 100%, right? Or you have a cat, you have whatever you have, dog, whatever you have, and you close it in a restroom, for example. So it would not the bark, whatever. So it is so for this dog, for this cat. So they want to get out, meaning what? That it is it feels that it's trapped, it is confined. Very interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
So over here it says confined in such a way that it is easily brought into one's possession control.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is like this: as the way I understand it is that, let's say I may put a rat in a cage, okay, a bear in a cage, okay, let's say, right? Now, if I unlock the cage, okay, it's not going to be in my easily brought into my possession. So it seems like it has to be confined in order to bring into one's possession, meaning confining it, putting it in the cage, is not putting it in my possession. You understand what I'm saying?
Not really, no.
Okay. So let's say I get a shliach, put something I want in a cage, right, and bring it to me. Okay. So there are 2 steps. Number 1, him putting it in the cage, and number 2, it coming to me. Now, this is not possible if it's something like, let's say, a bear. It's going to be very hard. It's not going to be done easily. So
but let's say you have special equipment and you're not afraid of the bears. So it's easier to take possession of the bear while he's in a cage than he's running around. That's the.
So basically, what you're saying over here is that the word isn't really easily like it says over here, but easier, right?
Easier, right. Okay. But easily, so no, so whatever you gave, it's I would say extreme example. But maybe the easier example would be like more practical. If you have a bird's cage, right? So some people, they would let the birds out. So they would close all of the windows, right? Let the bird out for, I don't know, for a few hours. Then put some food in a cage so the bird was go back. It's like let it fly on the house and then close the cage. So this is not allowed on Shabbos. You understand? So while the bird is flying around the house, even in one room, go catch it. It's not such an easy business. But when it's in a cage, you put your hand in and you can catch it. That's the thing. Okay. But of course, there are other applications, but it's like a basic idea. So part number 3, activities prohibited under this milach of trapping. Basically, any action that cause living creature to be closely confined violates the milach of trapping. Here are several common activities that fall under the prohibition. Okay. So one more time, I'm going to read and explain. Basically, any actions that cause living creature to be closely confined violates the milach of trapping. So, of course, it closely confined. It depends on the creature, right? So, if you close a mosquito in a big room, so it's not confined at all. right? But if you all close in the same room, I don't know, some dog that likes to go everywhere. So that's for this dog, it's confined. So it's easier to catch the dog if you need it.
I have a question. Let's say we had two of the same size dogs, right, in the same size house. Thing is, one of these dogs can climb stairs, the other can't climb stairs. Does it make a difference?
I think so. Yes. So dog knows that's it. I'm I'm staying here forever. Yeah. Of course. Okay. There's some different dogs. Yeah. That cannot climb the stairs. Okay. So I forgot what was it called? Doesn't matter. Capturing an animal by hand. A person is prohibited to capture any living creature on Shabbos by seizing it in his hand. So basically, including cats and dogs. So person has to be very careful, right? Especially, for example, I give you example. If I'm not a dog person, but people who wants to walk the dog. So I think because I saw them like a few times in my life, so they have to catch it and take them by their leash. So that's the issue actually. Right?
Is this one of the reasons? Let's say I put a dog on a leash before Shabbos, right? But even if I'm holding the leash and it's one of those leashes that go a bit more when the dog walks a bit forward, that counts as strapping or no? Because if I wasn't
strapping. Okay, I'm not. I understand what it's saying. Let's continue reading. I don't want to answer because I'm not sure 100%. Okay. So one more time. This a person prohibited to capture any living creature on Shabbos by seizing it in his hand. So, for example, if you cannot take a dog on your lap because why you see that with your hand. Okay, continue. Same with cat and with other domesticated animals or I don't know, even wild animals. B, setting a trap. Setting a trap on Shabbos is forbidden under melacha of tzedok. Same melacha, trapping. Under some circumstances, setting a trap will violate biblical law, namely, where the animal walks into the trap as soon as the trap is placed. As soon as the trap is placed, so it's a biblical. If, however, some time elapses before the animal is captured, one has transgressed rabbinical prohibition only. The rabbis enacted this decree because they were concerned that permitting this sort of trapping might lead the person to violate Shabbos by setting a trap in a situation where the animal will be captured immediately. With regard to the setting trap of Erev Shabbos, see page 351. Okay, so we're going to get. So on Erev Shabbos, we will see there is no such problem if he knows for sure that it was enough time before Shabbos, and he's not going to check right after Shabbos. So in this case, there is possibility that something happened before or after Shabbos. Right?
Yeah. Question. In regards to what you said, you're not allowed to, for example, take an animal into your lap and pet it, right? The thing is, what if, for example, the animal wants to be on your lap, and so you hold it in such a way?
Exactly. That doesn't make any difference. We don't go by the mind of the animal. Okay. So C, confine an animal to a room. One who closes the door of a room or enclosure that contains an animal, thereby preventing the animal from leaving, has violated the melacha of trapping, provided that the enclosure is small enough. See below. Okay, we're going to get it. So as we say, see below. If you close the cat in a bathroom, right? Or you could close a mosquito in the bathroom. Maybe for mosquito it's not confined, but for cat for sure it's going to go crazy, I think.
Okay, right. Let's say I have a dog, right? And he's on one end of the room. Now, if he was at the middle of the room, he'd be he couldn't go anywhere pretty much. He'd feel too crowded, okay? But if a dog is at the end of the room and I close the door while he's running, does that count as entrapped or no? Because at that point, the reason I'm asking is because in this case, it would be a derabanan. But if he's standing in the middle, it would be a deraisa.
Okay.
So does it count as a
What's up? Where is it? You closing the door to the room so the dog cannot leave the room?
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
So is it a derabanan or a deraisa? Because some time elapses before he gets to the middle of the room where it would feel.
I mean, if the dog is walking toward the door and you close it would be the deraisa for sure.
Understood. Okay.
But if it's plain, as you said, right? So if it's plain in the middle and other end, so if it has no intention to leave, and then you decided that you need to go somewhere, and you close the door and it plain place wherever it plays, so it would be the rabbanan. Still not allowed. Okay. So let's say next one, D. Trapping these animals. Using the hunting animals to trap another animal is forbidden under the melach of trapping. So it does not only can be with the traps like metal or other traps, right? It could be with any animals. In some circumstances, this violates biblical law, namely where the person aids the trapping, right? For example, a person sends a hunting dog to catch a deer and then stands in front of the deer to block its way and confuse it, thereby allowing the dog to grab hold of the deer. He has transgressed the Torah prohibition. Okay, so meaning it's the action is immediate, basically. I'm not sure how does it work in Jewish world. How does it help if dog is going to injure the deer? I'm not sure. If, however, the person simply sends out the hunting dogs, but does not himself participate in a hunt, he has violated a rabbinic decree only. So hunting dogs or hunting other, I don't know what other animals they would use for trapping. I think on the dogs. I'm not sure.
Question.
Yeah.
So the first thing is going back to what we said before about the size of the dog and everything. Okay, let's say I have a small dog. I get it to take a treat all the way to the other side of the house, okay?
Yeah.
So it won't count as a problem if I close the door. But the thing is, once I close the door, right away all of a sudden the animal hears right away, it wants to go outside right away. So does that count as deraisa?
I think it's okay. I think it's deraisa the way you explain.
Got it. And number
because it's right away, right? So effect, so it feels like a trap right away. That he's confined, that he's not allowed, and maybe he didn't care. This dog did not care to go outside for 3 days now. And now when you try to close the door, now it wants, like many people now.
What's it called? And over here, when we're talking about this, so it says if I just sent the dog, it would be a derabanan. My question is, let's say I didn't block the deer right away, but after it keeps on running, it's going to be blocked. Does that count as a deraisa or no?
Block, but with you or by you or somebody else?
With me, I'm blocking it.
No, it's same deraisa. Because you blocking the deer and confusing in order so that these dogs can catch up with the deer. Deers are very fast, basically. So the dogs are behind, and now when this deer is confused, that the dog can jump. Okay, so number 4, the Torah prohibition of trapping. Okay, let's see. One violates the biblical melach of trapping only if he meets of his actions meet the following conditions. They are: A, he must trap a healthy, entirely free creature. Understand? So it's healthy. It's not like it's wounded and you trap it. No, so it's healthy and basically it is able to run away, right? If not for your trap, right? B, this his objective must be to use for a trapping creature for some purpose. So maybe you need meat, maybe you need skin, maybe you need, I don't know, like whatever you need, horns of the animal, whatever you need. C, it must be a creature that is commonly trapped. So basically, creature that is commonly trapped. So I will take it back what we said before. So dogs are not commonly trapped. So it would be always rabbinic, basically. Nobody traps dogs. I mean, this like domestic dogs, right? Maybe stray dogs they do trap, but not this one. D, he must confine a creature in a small area. So as we said before, the small area considered to the size of the creature.
Rabbi, in regards to B, when it says some purpose, now there are two ways to understand this. For example, no purpose can either mean, right? Let's say I closed the door, but I didn't care if the dog was in it. If the okay, not a dog. Let's say a bear, whatever it was. Okay, I didn't care if it wasn't in. Okay, understood. That would 100% not be a derisa. My question is, if for some purpose might include where I simply want it to be inside just because.
Exactly. So it would not escape or hurt other people.
So
that's the purpose. What?
Understood.
So, but if you let's say I give you example in my mind, like there is no purpose. So you're sitting outside, and there is one I don't know, one flies like flying around, and then you cover it with a cup. What was the purpose? Maybe it would go away. Like you understand? So it's not like you close the room and I tried like it's after it. Okay, continue. So now they say, let us now elucidate these conditions. A, creature must be healthy and free. Basic requirement for milach of trapping is that the animal must be free and able to free capture. So under normal circumstances. If, however, the animal is unable to flee because it is injured, sick or old, it is considered to be in constant state of capture. That's very interesting, halakha, right? So this animal is a constant state of capture. One who traps this animal accomplishes nothing. Therefore, his act does not violate Torah prohibition. It is, however, prohibited under rabbinic law. So as we said about this dog, so dog is not afraid of you. As you said, it wants to be pet, right? It jumps on you, right? Or cow. How can you trap a cow? The cow is a domesticated animal, right? It knows where to go for food.
Rabbi, sorry. So how many of these prohibitions, because I started to realize, what percentage of prohibitions would you say are actually derisa versus derabbanan? Just so that you know when you have to have one doubt or two, you see.
So let's simply put, right? All of the domesticated animals, right? They're all rabbinic. So only wild animals, they would be, or insects or birds, whatever, they would be, might be biblical.
Understood.
Okay. So B, objective must be to use trapping creature. Under biblical law, one cannot violate milach of trapping unless his purpose in trapping the animal is to make use of it. For example, one who captured deer violates the prohibition only if he does it for its meat or hide. So maybe even if he's not going to eat meat, but he's going to sell to non-Jew, right? If, however, one's purpose is in trapping is not for the use of the animal. For example, he traps deer to prevent it from eating its plants, right? So, okay, it's very possible. He has not violated biblical prohibition. However, he has violated rabbinical prohibition. So, I mean, this is not allowed, but the level, of course, different. So, if somebody did a biblical prohibition, so he should be stoned by a beis din, basically. For rabbinic, he's not going to get stoned. Okay. C, creature that is commonly trapped. The Torah prohibition of trapping applies only to creatures that are commonly trapped for the purpose of using the trapped creature. For example, a rabbit, parrot, a deer. Right? One who captures a creature that is not commonly trapped, for example, fly or mosquito, has not violated the biblical melacha, even if his objective for trapping them, for they use them for some purpose, I don't know what the purpose, okay, and not simply to prevent them from doing harm. He has, however, violated rabbinic prohibition. See page 353 for further discussion on the trapping of flies. Of course, flies are super duper different. Okay, so but let's understand. So before that, I said it's wild animals, but now we have to refine this definition of wild animals, only the one that are commonly trapped. So basically, these flies and mosquitoes, we don't have any use of them, right? So it would be rabbinical. Continue. D. Close. Yeah, go ahead.
What's it called? In regards to what we just said, where it says that he has violated a rabbinic thing because he captured it, even if it's for a purpose, right? Does that mean if I captured it for no purpose, it's not even rabbinic?
No, it would be rabbinical, yes. For no purpose. So meaning like I don't know, like some wild animal, and he caught, like, I don't know, for fun.
Got it.
Okay, so continue. Like, I don't know, kids would play with I don't know, snails, right? What's the purpose? There is no constructive purpose. Okay, D. Close confinement. By biblical law, one transgresses the melacha of trapping only if one confines the creature to an area small enough to allow him to easily take hold of it when he wishes to do so. Easily, double quotes, is here defined as being able to grab the animal without having to rest between attempts, meaning that it's very small confinement.
In regards to this, also when it says confined and easy to take, so my question's like this. Let's say it doesn't only apply to a cage. For example, let's say I give a dog a sleeping pill. Oh, now I can take it very easily. Does that count as trapping?
It's a good question. But it's not it's not in a close confinement.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, right?
So maybe the rabbanon?
Maybe. No, I would say maybe, but I'm not sure. It's a good question. I'm not sure. I don't want to say because I'm not sure. That's a good question. Okay. So part number 5, the rabbinic prohibition against trapping. Maybe they're going to answer it now. 8, weak and sickly animals. The prohibition by rabbinic law to trap an animal that cannot flee capture because it's old, sick, or injured. I'm sorry, one more time. It is prohibited by rabbinic law to trap an animal that cannot flee capture because it's old, sick, or injured. So I think that's straightforward, right? So, but still we cannot like confine them. The sages forbade capturing this animal on Shabbos because they feared that it might lead the person to transgress Torah prohibition by capturing an animal that is able to flee. So as we said many times before, just one leads to another, and people derive one conclusion based on halacha that learned 17 years ago, right? So that's why the sage said, even if it's sickly animal, don't do it, not allowed. Okay, B, where the objective is not for use of trapping creature. Trapping an animal on Shabbos for some purpose other than use the animal is forbidden under rabbinical law. Okay, so we understood it correctly. Right, continue. C, creature that is not commonly trapped. It is forbidden by rabbinic decree to trap creatures that are not ordinarily trapped for use such as fly and mosquitoes. So there is such a thing, I'm just thinking out loud, as a fly trap, right? That they put like electric one, they leave it on for like outside. So it is called trapped, and it kills them for sure. I'm not sure. I mean, if you're allowed to leave it on Shabbos, I'm not sure. But let's continue. Maybe they're going to explain.
Oh, Rabbi.
Yeah.
I looked at all of these, and so usually some things that are abundant when we do something in an unusual manner, but it doesn't seem to be over here. So let's say I were to trap it. I don't know. For example, you said the lamp with the mosquitoes, right? But let's say, I don't know, there's a way, I don't know, let's say I put glue on the ceiling or something, which nobody's going to ever do, right? And it gets trapped over there. Does that count?
No. What's up? This I don't know what is it called. You know these ribbons, like they you put on a nail all the days, and then they would the sticky one, right? And all of these mosquitoes get stuck, and all of the flies. So it is allowed. I would say maybe if they, you see, I've been thinking about this trap. It's electric trap. So if they set it before Shabbos, so the prohibition is to set it on Shabbos. If you set it before Shabbos and let it go, there is no problem. You understand? Even though.
If I can. Oh, sorry. So long story short. So there is such a thing as doing this in an unusual manner, or there's no such thing as unusually trapped?
In this case, it's like a way we care about end result.
Got it. Okay.
Continue. Okay, so D, where the creature is not closely confined. As was explained, the biblical prohibition of trapping applies only where the animal is placed into close confinement. However, the rabbis extended the prohibition to include even the case in which the animal is loosely confined. So meaning like a dog in a room, right? Loosely confined. The rabbis enacted this decree because they feared that allowing loose confinement could lead people to violate biblical law by practicing close confinement. Loose confinement is defined as taking some freedom away from the animal, right? As we gave example before, while still not bringing it under the complete control. So you put some kind of room divider so this dog cannot go further than this area. That's it. So I mean, it still can go in a part where you allow it to go, but it still can. It's smaller than before. Example would be chasing a deer from the outdoors into large space in a building or corral. So now it was flying, not flying, running outdoors. Now you put it in a corral, like chasing in a corral. So for a deer, it is trapping for sure. Although this denies the animal the degree of freedom, it does not bring under the person's control. I mean, go try to catch it basically. Since actually catching a loosely confined animal requires a great deal of further efforts, the animal is not regarded as being captured. Therefore, the act of confinement does not violate biblical prohibition against trapping. It does, however, violate rabbinic prohibition. So one more time, the key word is taking some freedom from this animal, so it feels that it's missing from something. Okay. Next piece. Okay, bring an animal from a loose confinement into close confinement. Bring a loosely confined animal into close confinement on Shabbos, well as the biblical malacha of trapping. So I mean that doesn't, whether you did it in one shot or you did it in stages, basically it's irrelevant. Hence, a person would be forbidden to chase a deer from a large, spacious enclosure into a smaller one. Okay. Next one is semi-domesticated animals. Semi-domesticated animals are animals that wander free by day and return home at night. So it's very interesting, right? So if you have a place, you can open the gate so they can go graze and then come back, right? Well, question?
Oh yeah. please. So over here, when we say not closely confined, let's say it's loosely confined, right? Let's say I have a field with a lot of trees, big field, okay? So now a dog isn't likely to get through these trees, so on and so forth, but it could, right? Because it has the chance of escaping, right? Do we say that it's not even a durabanan?
I don't think so, no.
Got it. Okay.
Field, it's too big. It's too big. Okay. So now, E from the beginning. Semi-domesticated animals. Semi-domesticated animals are the animals that wander free by day and return home at night. Okay. While indoors, there are some cats, right? They outside. While outdoors during the day, this animal will not submit to their masters. I mean, and will not return when cold. It's very interesting. I don't know what kind of animal, but we're going to see. Because these animals return home at night, they are regarded under biblical law as in a constant state of capture. So which is good. Therefore, their captures on Shabbos is not included in the biblical prohibition of trapping. Right? So it's like, as we said, semi-domesticated animals. Right? They are out by day and then by night. So they don't mind this capture. Like during the day, I have to let them go, but during the night, they don't mind. However, the rabbis extended this prohibition to include even the capture of these animals. So I'm not sure exactly what they do and how. I'm not sure how they do it, if they have farm. Like still I have to close some gate, not to let them out. Maybe like a bigger like outer gate, but inside to the barn they don't close. I mean, they probably going to explain the practical applications. Yeah, go ahead. What is it?
Two things. Firstly, what matters in regards to that it comes back at night, or where it sleeps, or that it comes back at night and instead of the day. If it came back only during the day, but at night it was wandering, that wouldn't be good enough. So which part matters?
No, that doesn't matter. That it comes. So even though it's not going to listen to you when you try to get it during the day, let's say it wants to be out, but during the night it comes by itself. You don't have to look for it. It's
and number two is if it comes by itself, right? But I have to put it to a leash for it to stay, right? Or
usually not. They want to stay in what is it? In their own place. They get extra food, extra water, probably. Right? So they comfy wherever they are.
Does that not count as the dog doing it by his own will? Let's say a dog came to my house, started living in my house, started living on my field or whatever. So it counts as semi-domesticated, or I have to make it?
So. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
But usually dogs live in the house. So if it likes to run, let's say there is no leash, you have your own farm. So it runs around, and then it comes home to sleep. Yeah.
Understood.
Okay. Part number 6: permitted acts of travel. A. Slow-moving animals. Any creature that moves very slowly is considered to be in a constant state of capture. Therefore, its capture does not violate the milacha of trapping and entirely permitted, both by biblical and rabbinic law. Some creatures in this category are turtles, caterpillars, earthworms, and snails. Okay.
Right. So over here it says it's allowed. Why? Because it's in a constant state of capture. So my question is like this. Over here, going back to to E, it says because these animals return home at night, they are regarded under biblical law as in a constant state of capture, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it says the same exact reason why it's considered a state of capture. But I don't understand why over here it's not even a durabanan, but over here by E it's a durabanan. So what's the difference? Because both of them we say halakhically have the same stake.
No, one second. No, this semi-domesticated animal, they're forbidden by rabbinic decree, right? To capture.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. And this and this creature that they said is turtle. So turtle is not going anywhere. Like it's easy target. You don't need to run. You don't need special skills. You don't need special equipment to catch the turtle, the worms, or caterpillars. You understand? So it's easy if you look at it, and 2 minutes later you come, it's still there. It move a few inches, so it's like always captured. That's what they mean.
Understood.
So you're okay. It must be emphasized that although it is permitted to trap this creature on Shabbos, they are muktzah. That's a different case. Therefore, one who captures them may not handle them directly, but must catch them without laying their hands upon them, such as by placing something over them, or by covering them so that they cannot escape. I mean, you can kill them. I mean, if you don't kill them, for example, you will find one of those in your house, basically, so you can take napkin and basically take it out. Okay, but the muktzah, I think caterpillar, I think it's one of them. I think it's one of the 7 animals that transmit this special impurity, if I remember correctly. Okay, continue. B, domesticated animals. It is entirely permissible to trap domesticated animals that do not try to escape when one catches them, but instead become completely subdued. These animals are considered to be in constant state of capture, and so are not included in the melach of trapping. Included in this category are cows, sheep, and many domesticated house pets, for example, dogs. Okay. Here, to direct handling of the animals is forbidden because of the prohibition of muktzah. Okay, so it's muktzah, it's not, okay. One is permitted simply to chase animals into small space or a corner them so they cannot escape. If domesticated animal has become rebellious, it is no longer considered to be in a constant state of capture. That's an interesting point. Therefore, catching them on Shabbos will violate the biblical milach of trapping. Okay, so all right. We said before a little differently what it says here. So basically, these cats and dogs, if they submit by themselves, okay, I would say dogs for sure. Maybe cats is not a good example. Cats like to be independent. They like to walk wherever they want. So I'm okay. I think that they're going to give us examples of all of these things. So let's continue.
Rabbi,
Yes.
let's say I entrap, let's say even an animal that's going to be a Rabbanan or a Deraisa, right? But it doesn't feel trapped, meaning what? Let's say I give a cat some yarn to play with, right? Put it in a room, doesn't care what room it's in, just cares about the yarn. Does that count as a Rabbanan or no?
So I didn't get that at the end. You put it in a room or outside? I didn't get it.
Okay, let's say a bear, right?
Bear, yes.
I have a cage.
Yes.
He gets in the cage. He doesn't care about the cage. He doesn't care about nothing. There's just a piece of steak in there. All he cares about is the steak. Okay? So when I lock it, does it count as trapping or no? Because it's still only cares about the steak.
So. No. It doesn't. I think so. First of all, bear is a wild animal that people usually trap. And you do it for, I don't know, it's now it's easily for you to have to take hold of it, for example. Yeah.
So I'll ask you a little differently then. Okay, so at that point, correct, let's say it's completely trapped. But at that point, since he only cares about the steak and only later on wants to leave, maybe it counts as a Durabanan because time elapses until maybe it counts as trapping or no?
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Maybe you can say, actually, no. If you close the door, it is trapped. So
Okay.
just because it does not want to go out at exactly the same point, but it is trapped.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. So let's see. Just I want to check how much. Okay, we might finish. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. Part number 7: special leniencies regarding the nevacha of trapping. Animals and insects that inflict pain. So commentary, not with regard to the laws of animal and insect that endanger human life. 358. Let's see. Okay, we're going to get to it. Okay, number 1. Where they inflict severe pain. If person is afraid that the stinging insect, such as bee or wasp or hornet, will sting him or someone else, it is permitted to trap it on Shabbos, since the bites of this insect can cause severe pain. Okay, that's known thing. So it's like you're trying to protect yourself. However, the trapping should not be done with a device specifically made for this purpose. Rather, it should be done with a makeshift way, such as by placing cup over the insect. So maybe with that's what you were referring, right? Indirect. No, it's direct. No, it's not good example. Yeah.
Rabbi, let's say because of the same reason, right? I were to kill a bee, right? Would it count as a rabbanan or no? For the same reason, or would
So
it?
if it's a crazy bee, and then you see that it's after a baby, let's say, so you would be allowed to kill it. So it's not rabbit, it's shkita now.
Got it. But only after a baby because pikuach nefesh, or?
Yes, it's pikuach nefesh.
That's fine.
Or you know somebody in your family has allergy on this on the bee stink, right? Also possible. It's for people who have allergy of this, it's like it could be lethal. So it's serious business. Yeah.
Rabbi, how high do malaria levels have to be? Like, let's say percentage. This amount of mosquitoes have malaria. How much does it have to be to count as pikuach nefesh every time you see a mosquito? 10%, 15. Got it. Okay.
I mean, we have to look into. I don't know. I mean, so we need to find out the level, but it's like clearly life danger. I'm not sure about percentage. Okay, number 2, where they inflict minor pain. With regard to insects that are liable to bite or sting people, but do not cause great pain, for example, mosquitoes or gnats, the Shabbos rules are as follows. If the insects are already on a person's body, whether or not it is in process of biting, he should try to remove it without trapping it. For example, by shaking off or blowing it off. Okay, so don't try to kill it right away. If it is impossible, he may pick it off by hand and thereby capturing it, right, and throw it away. So maybe like some mosquito, they suck so much blood they hardly can move, right? And throw it away. So meaning don't kill it. If the insect is not on the person's body, one may drive it away, but may not capture it. So if it's in the body, he's allowed to capture. If it's not flying away, and throw out. If it's just flying around, so you're not allowed to capture. Continue. If mosquito is hovering near the infant, and it is possible, it is not possible to drive it away, one may capture it on Shabbos. If capturing the insect is impossible, one may even kill it. The reason this is permitted is mosquito bite could be serious danger, such as a small child, as you said. So yeah, malaria and other things. Maybe for adult there is no problem, but for little baby it's like children under a certain age and even after a certain age, if they in weak constitution, they consider to be constantly in pikuach nefesh state. Okay. Next one, the person who will, okay, this one, allergic to mosquitoes and bee bites may kill a mosquito in order to protect himself from being bitten. So that's clear. Okay. A, insects that do not inflict pain. Harmless insects such as ants and fleas may not be trapped on Shabbos. So, I mean, maybe they're annoying, but they're not going to bite you.
Okay. Let's say there's like an ant farm or something, right? Let's say a pit with a lot of ants, so on and so forth. Now, what do? You close off this pit, they can't go in. You see all them coming in, they can't go in anymore, okay? So now they don't know where to go. They're lost. So in this case, does it count as trapped, even though you didn't trap them, because now they don't know where to go? Now they have no place to live and they stay in one place, or no?
I miss the beginning of your
yeah.
example.
So
you're talking about what?
You have a place, let's say a piece of dirt, right? Like a pit or something with a lot of ants. Okay, a lot of ants. It's like their
Ants. Okay, yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Ants.
So now what do? All the ants want to get food. A lot of the ants want to go get food. Okay, to bring it back. But you put a rock inside of this pit or something, right? And now they can't go inside. Okay. So now let's say they don't know where to go and they stand in one place. They move in a circle or something, right? Now, since you didn't close off the ant, but you closed off something next to the ant and they don't go nowhere, anywhere, does it count as a drabanan or no?
No, I don't think it is considered trapping at all.
Got it. Okay.
I don't think so. Okay. So next one, number 3, trapping in order to prevent the monetary loss. It is forbidden to perform an act of trapping that is prohibited by biblical law, even if doing so will prevent the serious monetary loss. Okay, so biblical, no. However, where there is an act of trapping, is forbidden by rabbinical law only, and performing the act will prevent a person from suffering serious monetary loss. Several possible leniencies come into play. Okay, let's see. A, instructing a non-Jew. The rule is that one may instruct a non-Jew to perform a forbidden act by the sages in order to prevent the substantial financial loss. Accordingly, where the trapping, so before we continue, it's under the normal circumstances, whatever you're not allowed to do, you're not allowed to ask non-Jew to do it for you. So it's like your shliach, right? You're not allowed. So, but in some cases, when the prohibition is only forbidden rabbinically, so I would say yes, you can actually, in case of the need, like in this case, in case of a big financial loss, substantial financial loss, you can ask non-Jew. Accordingly, where trapping an animal will protect the person from monetary loss, will protect. And the prohibition of the rabbinic origin only, one is permitted to ask non-Jew to trap the animal. For example, if valuable semi-domesticated pet whose capture is forbidden by rabbinic law only, right, escapes from the one's home, the owner is permitted to instruct non-Jew to capture it and then bring it home. For the loss of the valuable animal constitute significant monetary loss. I'm not sure, like, so I would say it would not be allowed if there is no Eruv. So he cannot carry where there is no Eruv, right? Or some other things. Okay. So B.
Right.
Yeah.
Does this also apply? Let's say there's a very expensive animal, right? And I have a job. And this animal, I never saw one like it, and it's never going to come back. Am I allowed to ask a guy to trap it for me since there's no such thing and it's not going to cost that much money ever?
I mean, is it wild, or we're talking about this? If it's okay, so we can ask non-Jew only in a case where this animal is forbidden rabbinically by. Trapping rabbinically. If it's biblically, so if you say it's a wild animal, stuff like that, so you're not allowed to ask him. Only that is forbidden rabbinically, and it's of great value.
Got it. So let's say I trap him rabbinically, and but I'm not losing any money I have right now, but money I'm going to lose later, and it's very expensive.
No. I mean, okay. So that then explain you what do you mean? Give me an example.
Let's say, I don't know, let's say we find a red heifer. I don't know. Okay, it's very, very expensive. Something big. Okay, and so I can't take it by myself, and I'm never gonna find something like it. Okay, because no.
Oh, no. One second. So this animal is not yours to begin with, right?
Yeah.
So it's not yours, so you cannot call it domesticated. So and this is the animal that not only you but other people also want to trap, basically. So it would be biblical.
Understand.
Right. Okay. So B, an act twice removed from the Torah prohibition. That's what you like, right? So this is okay. So let's see. Well, there are two reasons to exclude a given act of trapping from biblical Shabbat prohibition, and the act is necessary to avoid the significant monetary loss. One is permitted to perform the act on Shabbat. For example, it is permitted by biblical law to trap a semi-domesticated animal on Shabbat, right? And it is permitted by biblical law to loosely confine an animal on Shabbos. True, both these acts are prohibited by rabbinic law. However, where the single act combines both biblical permits, and it will prevent the significant financial loss, the rabbis waived this decree. Therefore, one would be permitted to loosely confine semi-domesticated animal in order to avoid the monetary loss. For example, an example would be by chasing semi-domesticated bird, such as a dove, into large room and closing the door behind it. If this is done in order to avoid financial loss, that is so that the dove should not be stolen, it is permitted.
Rabbi,
that's one side. So this example, I didn't think of any example. So this is dove is that's what they do. They fly around, eat whatever they want to eat, and then they come to you to sleep. Dove.
This is different than a double doubt, correct? This is a different category of leniency.
No, just one second. So they say he has double doubt. So first, no, not double doubt. The two things that are permitted biblically. First thing is that it is a semi-domesticated. It's a semi-domesticated animal. It's that comes back at night. Okay, that's permitted biblically. And second, because of the great loss.
Okay.
Right, and the third, I guess, the second is it's permitted in a loosely confined. So basically, it's for this bird, if you close in a big room, so it's not does not feel that much confined. So that's why, yeah. So it's like, but what they say, it's a special exception that our rabbis gave. Therefore, just one second. Sure, both of these acts are prohibited by rabbinic law, so all of them prohibited. However, there is a single act that combines both of the permits. So both, it's not such an easy concept. So with one act you do two things basically, and it will prevent the significant financial loss. The rabbis waived their decree. Therefore, one would be permitted to loosely confine semi-domesticated animal in order to avoid monetary loss. Okay, let me just finish reading. For example, would be chasing semi-domesticated bird, such as dove, into large room and closing the door behind it. If this is done in order to avoid financial loss, that is so that the dove should not be stolen, it is permitted. Okay. So part number 3, practical application. That's part that we were waiting for. setting traps. One is permitted to set any trap or before Shabbos. However, one is forbidden to set any trap on Shabbos itself. So basically, all of this electronics, these things, there is no problem. All this sticky ribbon, also no problem. Number B, trapping bees, yellow jackets, hornets. As explained above, that trapping these types of stinging insects on Shabbos is permitted, so long as it not done with a specifically made trap. For further details, see part 7. So basically, if you set up before, so it could be even with specifically made trap, right? If you did it Shabbos morning, not Shabbos, Friday morning, right? So there is no problem. C, closing the door of a room when there is an animal inside. In many cases, one is forbidden to close the door of a room on Shabbos if there is an animal inside, as we said before. Right? With regard to the many fully domesticated pets, this does not pose difficulty, for the capture of the most domesticated animals is not included prohibition trapping. However, semi-domesticated pet, for example, one that is not entirely familiar with his master, can present its owner with the following halachical difficulty. It is forbidden to capture semi-domesticated animal on Shabbos. Hence, if the owner is in a room with a semi-domesticated pet, and he opens the door to leave, he may not close the door behind him. Right? By doing so, he's trapping the animal in the room. Right? So we're talking about semi-domesticated. One who finds himself such a situation must open the door slowly so that he can fill the gap. So basically, there's no gap to begin with, right? So he's not opening the door, so he's standing in the gap with his body, right? So he closes to fill the gap with his body. As he opens it, he must do the same while closing the door, right? So basically, like the gap is always blocked, right? Just 1 second. Close the door. Being careful to ensure that the gap will remain blocked the entire time. Since he never created the opening through which the animal could escape, the animal was considered to be trapped even while the door was open. Therefore, when he then closes the door, he has not violated the melach of trapping. Okay. So meaning that there is no gap. But just one more point about these animals. We said before, if animal is not happy with what is going on, so it became like a rebellious animal, and it possesses an issue. Okay. All right. So let's continue. You good, guys, for another 10 minutes? So okay. But I want to finish the chapter, basically. Right. So if animal is good, so maybe it's good. But if not, that's an issue, right? Okay. That's probably how I remember it. So yeah, I mean, if it's okay to play with the door closed, there is no problem. But if it starts like trying to like ask you to let it out, like scratching the door, that's an issue. That's it shows you that it's for sure it is trapped. Okay, D, opening and closing the door of the bird cage on Shabbos. It is forbidden to close the door of an occupied bird cage on Shabbos. For by doing so, one is trapping the bird. So some people probably leave the door open so the bird can go back and forth. That's my guess. I never had birds, so I don't know. Thus, one who finds it necessary to open the door of the cage on Shabbos, for example, to free the bird, is faced with a difficulty, namely, that once he opens the door, he will not be able to close it. right? And same as with that animal. One avoids the difficulty by opening the door as little as possible. It's A, and B, by opening and closing it slowly, so that he can fill the gap with his hand while he's doing so. That's a practical application. So he opens and with one hand and close and closing the gap with the second hand. So because he leaves no opening through which the bird could escape, it is regarded as trapping even while the door is open. Probably not regarded as opening, right? Therefore, when he closed the door, he has not violated the milach of trapping. So it's like he never opened the door, never closed the door, because the gap was always like filled with his hand. Continue. E. Closing the door to a large room containing insects. One is permitted to close the door to a large room on Shabbos, even if there is an insect flying about inside the room. An insect in a large room is considered to be completely free. Therefore, closing the door is permitted under biblical and rabbinical law. I mean, that's clear. Okay, F. Trapping a fly between the window and the screen. That's a big one, right? If there is a fly, on the other hand, or any other insect on the window screen, one may not close the window on Shabbos. That's right, because you're going to trap it. It has no way to get out. Since one thereby traps the fly between the window and the screen. However, if one's intention is closing the window, is not to trap the fly, but to keep out the cold air or noises from the street, one is permitted to close the window, even though the fly will be trapped in the process. So basically, I mean, it is in close confine, but this is not the animal that is usually trapped, so you have some leniency, right? And plus, it's needed for Shabbos because it's cold or it's raining, so the water comes in through this window, I guess. If there are good sized holes in a screen or white cracks between the edge and the screen, right, and the window frame, so that the fly can easily find its way out, maybe after some time, right? It is not considered to be trapped. Therefore, one is permitted to close the window on Shabbos. Okay, so I mean that's straightforward. So if it has room to escape, there is some holes in the screen, so let it escape through these holes. G. Fleeing and trapping animals. Freeing a trapped animal. Sorry. So the animal was trapped. Can you free it or not? There is no prohibition against freeing a trapped animal on Shabbos. H. Insects repellents. One is permitted to spray insects repellent on his skin on Shabbos to keep the insects away. I'm not sure why they put it in this category, but okay, doesn't matter. Okay, so questions.
So, as far as I understand, I'm not allowed to do a derabanan in an unusual manner unless I really need to.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, understood. And what's it called? One second. Yes. Can I use a non-kosher knife, a cold non-kosher knife, right, to cut, let's say, an orange?
What do you mean non-kosher knife? What is?
Sorry. I mean, for example, let's say I cut unkosher steak with it, cleaned it, right, rinsed it off, right? So the knife inherently is infused with it now. Am I allowed to clean it and use it with, orange just by rinsing it?
So I think if it, I see, but you said yourself that it was cut with was used to cut the steak, so that's a problem. The heat. So this flavor of the things are going through the heat. with the heat. So if you would cut something like cold, it would be different.
So I'm allowed to?
No, if it's cold state, I mean, let's take a different example. So if it was used for something cold, biblically, I don't think it is prohibited, but rabbinically they say yes. So, but it's very easy to kosher the knife, right? How to kosher the knife? I'm not sure if you can do it on Shabbos. Okay, forget about it. It's not on Shabbos. So it says you have to like clean it, as you said, clean it nicely with the soap. Then you go to outside and you stick it in the ground 10 times, or in a sand, and that's how. Or you sharpen it. So meaning you cut the edge where it this was absorbed, where the taste was absorbed.
If I get, I don't know, this Play-Doh sand or whatever these little kids play with, dip in 10 times, it's good enough?
Play-Doh? No.
No, not Play-Doh, not Play-Doh. There's a type of sand. There are these very, very small, I would say 10 by 10 inch sand boxes that kids have in their houses, purple sand or whatever. They make a sand castle. And so is that sand good enough for me to put it?
I think so. I mean,
That's the question.
I'm not sure. I never saw the sand, but if it's abrasive enough, so it would like clean the surface. Of course, it's spiritual clean. It's not, of course, you mean, and it's like you see the problem is the sand that is loose. So when they say that you have to stick it to the ground, so the earth it's more like compressed. So it would clean for sure. I'm not sure about this sand. Maybe because it's loose. Maybe it's.
So let's say I had wet sand. That would be good. Just wet sand.
I think the wet sand would be much better.
Got it. And the second question is, let's say a lot of times,
like the wet sand on the beach, right? When you go by the water. So it's very compressed. So it's very good for cleaning. Absolutely, yes.
Understood. So a lot of times, I'm not with these glasses, but I had old glasses. One of the legs would fall off. Okay, the legs of the glasses, right? It was unscrewed. It was something. I have no clue. But once I stick it back in, right, it would stay for I don't know how long, but it would stay securely. And then maybe over time it got looser, then fell off again, right? So if it fell off, it would be a big problem for me. I assume it's muksa on Shabbos, correct? If one of these pieces falls off, right?
It depends. I mean, if it's a screw there, if in some instances if you can put something in there, like something that you would take before the Shabbos set. For example, you put some what is it? Not the staple, but paper clip or something, right? So of course it's going to bother you. It's going to look a little ridiculous. You understand? But you're going to change it like after Shabbos. But screw for sure you cannot put in. Screws that don't do even loosely.
Got it. So the question is like this. Let's say, because I assume this would be considered a necessity. My glasses would be considered a necessity.
It's not that much necessity. If you just stay home or wherever, stay where you are. So it's.
Got it. Okay.
But if you don't have like ways to fix it, so in this case it would be muktzah. So if one temple is missing, they call it temple. If the one temple is missing, so it's for sure it is muktzah. Because I mean I don't know if you have ever this try to wear these glasses without one temple. It's like it become crooked. It's so annoying. I had it for some time. I didn't have a second spare pair. Like so, I wear it like I don't know for 5 days, 6 days. It was very very annoying, very annoying.
Got it. And another question. Let's say.
So why did I say it? Because person, he would walk in the street and he might be tempted to take it off, and people would make it fun of him. Right. So that's why they say it's muktzah, it's forbidden.
Got it. And after hamapil, right? So these rubber bands that I have on my braces, they sometimes tend to fall off, okay? And this is going to be 2 questions. So I just have my conscience tells me that maybe, hey, you touched meat, you had a steak, whatever, I don't know, something dairy maybe even, right? And so I touched the bag with these braces, okay? So now if I want to put on new braces because I touch these elastics, I touch many at one time, and so now maybe they're all dairy. So let's say I had a meat meal, I took them off, and then I want to put these on. Oh, I have a problem because these are like dairy now. Is that a problem or no? Or do I not worry about it unless I see something? And don't specifically remember touching it.
Exactly. Yeah. So and plus, if you go and use a mouthwash, basically, so to kill any taste. So of course, this taste, whatever is it, would be much over that than 1 to 60 for sure, right? Even if it's some, but if you kill the taste with a mouthwash, it should not be an issue.
Toothpaste is good enough?
Toothpaste is good enough, yes.
Okay, so wait, but let's say I don't use either one. I still have to worry about it or no? Or
I don't know. I mean, since there are too many doubts, so I would say no.
okay, understood.
But if you have like some to ease your conscience, so that's what I said, that it's easy solution. Take this mouthwash at 20 seconds, and you're good to go, basically.
Understood.
Okay, Israel, anything?
And the second part of this question.
Okay, sorry. Let it finish. Okay, go ahead.
I have one about the previous topic only. If you capture a mouse.
About what? Sorry. About what? I didn't get.
About the previous topic.
Previous topic. Yes. Go ahead. Yes.
It's only one question. If you capture a mouse prior to Shabbos, you must release this mouse on Shabbos or after Shabbos?
No. So you set up trap before Shabbos, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you just let it stay there. Don't touch it.
Don't touch until Shabbos end, and then release in the field.
No. Then you do whatever you want to. Don't ask me what to do. You want to kill it. You want to release in the field, go release in the field. I mean, I always say don't kill the animals, basically. So if you want to go like somewhere outside and release it, just do that. Sure. If it did not die until now, so yeah, that's what you should do. But as we said before, setting these traps before Shabbos, it's not a problem. I'm not sure why they do not discuss here. Maybe it's in different books. I don't know. But I learned it. So basically, you can set up these nets, right? The fishermen, they can set up nets on Friday before Shabbos, and then Sunday morning, let's say they can come and take the fish, and you eat the fish, because you don't know when it was caught. Maybe on Friday, maybe Motzei Shabbos, maybe Sunday morning. I don't know. Understand?
Okay, Rabbi. So because the elastics tend to fall off, and let's say it happens when they fall off after I set them up. So now let's say in that situation where I tend to wash the elastics just because of my conscience, okay? Am I allowed to get out of my bed, take my elastics, go to the bathroom, wash them, put them on, then go back to sleep, or no?
Just say Shema. That's what I do. Just say Shema. First paragraph, I'm sure you know by heart, and that's it. Oh, so cool. let this Shema be the last words that before you were trying to sleep.
So don't say Hamapo.
No, you already said it.
But
Shema is yes.
So just to be clear, my question is like this: not to say Hamapel again, but my question is, because if you look in the article Siddur, it says it's not best to do stuff after you say Hamapel. So my question isn't if I say it again, but if this is going against it, or it counts as getting ready to sleep or something like that.
Exactly, yes, but if you want to say, there is no problem.
Got it.
So when I answer your question, I assume that you don't want to say, like you want to go like you want to sleep as soon as possible. So just say Shema, and there should not be any issue.
Okay, understood. Got it.
Okay, Israel, anything?
No, we are.
Okay, so let me stop recording for a second.
Shalom V'chai everybody. Very happy to announce a major event coming up in Eretz Yisrael. This event is going to be unlike any other we've done as an organization. Last year we had a group of young guys that completed the entire Shas, Bavli, and the Mishnayot in a single year. This year we're going to have the entire foundation of the oral Torah completed in a single night. Our own dear Ephraim and other Talmidim of the organization. In a single night we'll have the completion of the Shas Bavli, Shas Mishnayot, the Zohar Kadosh, Zohar Chadash, TIKKUN Zohar, and the Shulchan Aruch. Years and years of toil, lots of effort is coming to fruition, and in a single night, all of it will be completed to sanctify Kadosh Baruch Hu's name. This is going to be a night where many Rabbanim, many Tzaddikim will be joining us at this event. There'll be hundreds and hundreds of people at the event in Eretz Yisrael, including the Rishon LeZion, Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef, of course, our own very dear Rabbi Ephraim Kachlon. I myself will also be joining, coming to Eretz Yisrael for the first time in many years, to join this monumental event, this monumental Kiddush Hashem, in order to sanctify Kadosh Baruch Hu's name, to show him how much we love his Torah, how dedicated we are to his Torah, and to be able to, Be'ezrat Hashem, give chizuk to Am Yisrael in another way.
בעזרת השם, ארגון בעזרת השם מתעתד לעשות כנס גדול, שם יהיה סיום על עיקרי התורה שבעל פה, שזה סיום כל התלמוד בבלי, סיום כל השישה סדרי משנה, סיום כל הזוהר הקדוש ותיקוני הזוהר, וסיום כל השולחן ערוך. בדרך כלל לוקח זמן כדי לסיים את כל הספרים הללו, 30 שנה, 40 שנה, ובסייעתא דשמיא הארגון בעזרת השם עושה את הכנס לכל כלל ישראל. כולם מוזמנים.
We're looking forward for this event. We're also looking forward to seeing some of you that are going to be joining us. There are going to be some sponsorship opportunities for anyone that wants to be able to be a part of it. And of course, there'll be a opportunity for any of you that want to join us, one way or the other. Last but not least, there will also be a raffle that we'll be announcing very soon for anyone that wants to join the raffle and also be able to do Kiruv at the same time. The winner of the raffle will win a flight ticket to Eretz Yisrael and be able to join us at the event. So please look out for more news. Looking forward to seeing you at this event. And Be'ezrat Hashem, Naaseh v'natzliach.